In the quiet embrace of twilight, have you ever felt the weight of silence, an unspoken yearning for something just beyond your grasp? This is where our story begins, in the tranquil town of Serendipity Falls, a place where the gentle flow of the whispering river meanders like a soft sigh through the lush landscape. This river, with its crystal-clear water sparkling under the fading sun, has a way of capturing the hearts of those who seek solace within its banks. Nestled between soft rolling hills and enveloped by a tapestry of emerald trees, Serendipity Falls is a canvas painted by nature itself. The air is rich with the sweet scent of jasmine and the earthy aroma of damp soil, especially after a light rain. As dusk descends, the sky transforms into a palette of pastel hues, blending shades of lavender and gold, while the first stars timidly peek out from behind the clouds. It is here, in this serene setting, that we meet Lila Hartman. Lila, a young woman in her late 20s, is an artist whose heart beats in rhythm with the pulse of the natural world around her. With her warm smile and open heart, she wanders the riverbanks, sketchbook in hand, searching for inspiration that seems to elude her. The world is alive with the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle crooning of crickets, yet within her a storm brews, a creative block that makes her feel disconnected from her art. The canvas of her mind is blank, devoid of the vibrant colors that once flowed so effortlessly from her brush. Every evening she finds herself drawn to the whispering river, a place she hopes will rekindle the spark within. She sits on a weathered rock, her fingers tracing the edges of her sketchbook, but the images remain stubbornly locked away, just out of reach. The river whispers secrets to her, its soft babbling like a lullaby, but Lila feels lost in translation, unable to decipher its melodic messages. On the opposite bank, a figure sits beneath the sprawling branches of a willow tree, where the leaves dance softly in the breeze. Eli Navarro, a thoughtful musician in his early 30s, cradles his guitar as he strums gentle melodies that float across the water like dandelion seeds in the wind. His calm demeanor and soothing voice create a harmonious backdrop to the tranquil scene. Yet Eli, too, carries a burden. The pressure to produce a new album weighs heavily on his shoulders, and he finds himself adrift, searching for the right notes that will resonate with the world. As Lila gazes across the river, she catches a glimpse of Eli, his silhouette framed by the fading light. There is something comforting about his presence, a shared tranquility that calls to her. But just like her, he seems to be wrestling with an invisible force, emotions swirling within him, seeking an escape. The river flows steadily between them, a silent witness to their struggles, two souls yearning for connection amidst their creative droughts. The gentle lap of water against the rocks creates a rhythmic heartbeat in the background, echoing the unspoken understanding that lingers in the air. Lila closes her eyes, allowing the sounds of nature to wash over her, each note a reminder of the beauty that still exists. But as she opens her eyes to the world around her, that sense of peace is overshadowed by her self-doubt. She wonders if her art will ever compare to the breathtaking beauty of the scene before her, if she will ever find her voice again. Eli, too, feels the weight of expectation. The melodies that once flowed from his fingertips now feel trapped, stifled by the fear of not being good enough. Each strum of his guitar seems to echo his frustrations, a silent plea for clarity amidst the chaos of his thoughts. He longs for inspiration, for a moment that will ignite the creative fire within him once more. As day slips into night, the stars begin to twinkle like scattered diamonds across the velvet sky. The river shimmers under the moonlight, casting a silvery glow that dances on the surface, inviting Lila and Eli to find solace in its embrace. They may be worlds apart, separated by the gentle current, yet the river serves as a bridge, an uncharted path toward the healing they both seek. And so, as the night deepens, Lila and Eli remain on their respective banks, unaware that fate has woven their stories together. The whispering river flows between them, a silent thread connecting their hearts, whispering promises of hope and discovery. They are two souls searching for peace, lost in their own thoughts, yet somehow destined to find each other beneath the stars. In this serene town, with the river as their witness, a journey of self-discovery awaits, one that promises to reveal the beauty that lies not only in the world around them, but also within their very souls. For in the heart of Serendipity Falls, the gentle flow of life continues, reminding us that sometimes all we need to do is listen. In the soft twilight of Serendipity Falls, where the river whispered secrets to the trees, Lila found herself returning to the familiar bank of the Whispering River. The day had given way to a serene dusk, painting the sky in delicate shades of lavender and peach. The gentle hum of nature enveloped her, and for a moment she allowed herself to breathe deeply, inhaling the scent of damp earth and blooming wildflowers. Just ahead, she spotted Eli, his guitar cradled in his lap, fingers poised delicately over the strings. The golden rays of the setting sun kissed his hair, creating a halo effect that made him look almost ethereal. Lila watched as he strummed a gentle melody, the notes floating through the air like fireflies dancing in the twilight. As she approached, the sound wrapped around her, soothing the lingering anxieties that had clung to her throughout the day. "Hey, Eli," she greeted softly, her voice barely above a whisper, as she settled onto the grass beside him. The coolness of the earth beneath her offered a comforting contrast to the warmth of the evening air. "Hey, Lila, want to join?" Eli's warm smile welcomed her, and he shifted slightly, making space for her. "I could use a little company." She nodded, grateful for the invitation. As he continued to play, Lila closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her. Each note felt like a gentle caress, easing the tension that had settled in her shoulders. Still, the gnawing doubt of her own artistic abilities whispered in the corners of her mind. She could hardly focus on the music. Her thoughts drifted to the canvas waiting for her at home, still blank and untouched. Do you ever feel like, no matter how hard you try, you just can't capture the beauty around you? Lila asked, her eyes still closed, allowing the vulnerability to seep into her voice. Eli paused, his fingers hovering over the strings as he considered her words. "I think we all feel that way sometimes. I've been struggling with my music too. It's like I have all these melodies in my head, but when I try to play, they just slip away." He sighed, a hint of frustration coloring his tone. "It's hard when the pressure to create feels overwhelming." Lila turned to face him, curiosity piquing at the honesty in his admission. "What do you do when that happens?" "I try to remind myself why I started playing in the first place," he replied, a reflective look in his eyes. Music was never about perfection. It was about expressing feelings and sharing experiences. I find it helps to just let go and play for the sake of playing. His words struck a chord within her, a gentle reminder that perhaps the act of creating shouldn't be about comparison or perfection. She opened her eyes and looked at the river, its surface shimmering like 1,000 tiny stars as the sky deepened into night. "Maybe I need to remember that too," she mused softly. "Art doesn't have to be a masterpiece, it just needs to be real." Eli smiled, his confidence bolstered by her words. "Exactly, and real can be beautiful in its own way." With renewed energy, he resumed playing, this time a tune that felt more free and spontaneous. Lila felt the melody intertwine with her thoughts, weaving a tapestry of hope and possibility. As the sun dipped lower, the night air grew cooler, wrapping them in a gentle embrace. "I've always loved this river," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "It feels like it understands me. I often come here when I'm lost, and somehow it helps me find my way again." Eli nodded, his eyes reflecting the soft light of the moon beginning to rise. "I feel the same. There's something about the water that calms the mind. It reminds me that life flows, just like the river. Sometimes we just need to let ourselves flow with it." His words resonated deeply with Lila. She had spent so much time trying to force inspiration, to mold it into something she thought was right. that she had forgotten the importance of simply being present in the moment. As the evening deepened, the air filled with the sweet scent of night-blooming flowers, and she felt a shift within her, a flicker of hope igniting in her heart. "Would you be willing to share some of your music with me?" she asked hesitantly, a hint of excitement threading through her voice. "Maybe I could paint while you play. It could be our own little art session by the river." Eli's eyes lit up, and a smile spread across his face. "I'd love that. Music and art together could create something truly beautiful." But as Lila's excitement grew, so did the familiar tendrils of self-doubt. What if her art wasn't good enough? What if Eli's melodies far surpassed her brushstrokes? The thoughts crept in like shadows, threatening to overshadow her newfound inspiration. She fought to silence them, reminding herself of Eli's words, the beauty of realness. As the stars began to twinkle above, Lila felt a rush of determination. "Let's do it," she declared, her voice steady. "Let's create something real." Eli's fingers danced over the strings as he played a lively tune, and Lila felt the creative energy flow between them, a current of collaboration and friendship. The river, ever watchful, seemed to hum along, its gentle whispers encouraging them to embrace the moment. "Maybe we could even have a little gathering by the river once we complete our pieces," Eli suggested, his enthusiasm infectious. "We could invite some friends to share what we've made." Lila's heart swelled at the thought. "That sounds perfect. It'll be a celebration of our journey." Yet, even as she spoke, a flicker of anxiety gnawed at her. Would her art truly resonate with others? Would it stand alongside Eli's music? She took a deep breath, inhaling the cool night air, and focused on the river's gentle flow, allowing it to wash away her worries. As the night unfolded, they talked and laughed, sharing stories of their lives and dreams. The bond between them deepened. Their struggles echoed in each other's experiences. Lila listened intently as Eli spoke of his childhood, of how music had always been a part of him, woven into the fabric of his memories. She shared her own tales of afternoons spent painting with her grandmother, learning to see the world through a lens of wonder. With each shared story, the connection between them blossomed, filling the spaces once occupied by self-doubt and fear. As the moon cast its silver glow upon the river, Lila felt a sense of peace settling within her. Perhaps the journey of creation was not a solitary path, but a shared experience, one that could be enriched by the presence of another. "Thank you for this," she said softly, turning to Eli, "for reminding me what it means to create from the heart." "Thank you for inspiring me too," he replied, his voice warm and genuine. "It's easy to get lost in the pressure to succeed, but moments like this remind us of what truly matters." As the night deepened, the stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky, and Lila felt a sense of belonging wash over her. In this serene moment by the whispering river, she understood that she was not alone in her struggles. Together, she and Eli were finding their way, through music, art, and the gentle magic of friendship. Before they parted ways that evening, Lila felt a flutter of excitement ripple through her as she glanced at Eli. "You know, I think we should keep meeting here. I want to see where this journey takes us." "I'd like that too," he said, a soft smile gracing his lips. "Let's make this a regular thing." With promises of new beginnings and shared creations, they bid each other goodnight, the river whispering its secrets as they walked away, each carrying a piece of inspiration ignited by the other. In the days that followed, Lila found herself returning to the river more often. Each visit became a sanctuary, a place where her doubts began to dissolve like mist under the morning sun. Eli would be there, his music flowing like the water itself, coaxing her to paint again, to let her brush dance across the canvas without fear. As the weeks passed, Lila began to paint again, her creations reflecting the beauty of their shared moments by the whispering river. Slowly, her confidence grew. She learned to embrace the imperfections of her art, understanding that each stroke was a reflection of her journey, a journey intertwined with Eli's melodies. If you've enjoyed this story so far, consider subscribing to our channel for more tales that inspire and soothe the mind. Your support helps us create more tranquil moments together. As the sun set on yet another day in Serendipity Falls, Lila and Eli sat by the river, laughter mingling with the gentle sounds of nature. The path ahead was still unfolding, but they were no longer alone. The river continued to whisper, guiding them toward a future filled with creativity, connection, and the promise of something beautiful. The night deepened, and as stars twinkled above them, Lila smiled, feeling the warmth of friendship and inspiration wrap around her like a cozy blanket. The whispering river flowed on, a gentle reminder that life, like art, is a journey best shared. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Under a full moon, the night wrapped itself around Serendipity Falls like a warm, familiar blanket. The whispering river sparkled as it danced under the lunar glow, casting shimmering reflections upon the smooth stones that lined its banks. The air was filled with a sweet, earthy aroma, as if the landscape itself breathed a sigh of contentment. It was a night that held promises, yet also the weight of unspoken fears. Lila and Eli sat side by side on a weathered log, its surface cool and slightly damp from the evening dew. The soft rustle of leaves whispered secrets above them, while the gentle lap of water against the shore created a soothing symphony that mingled with the distant hooting of an owl. Lila felt a shiver of anticipation. It was a moment ripe with potential, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that something vital was about to unfold. Do you ever wonder if we're chasing shadows? Lila's voice broke the silence, her tone soft, almost hesitant. She gazed into the river, her reflection merging with the ripples, as if searching for answers hidden beneath the surface. Eli turned to her, the moonlight casting a silvery halo around his thoughtful expression. "What do you mean?" he asked, his voice steady, yet laced with curiosity. Lila took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill her lungs. "Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to capture something that's just out of reach, like the beauty around us is too vast, and I'm not good enough to express it." Her heart ached as she spoke, and she felt the familiar weight of self-doubt settle upon her shoulders. Eli's brow furrowed, and he shifted closer, the warmth of his presence a comforting anchor. "I know what you mean. It's like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, trying to find the right melody to soar, but all I hear is silence." His fingers absent-mindedly strummed his guitar, the strings vibrating softly, echoing his emotions. Lila looked at him, her heart swelling with empathy. "You? A silence? That's hard to believe." She smiled gently, yet her own insecurities loomed large in her mind. "You create such beautiful music. How can you not hear it?" Eli chuckled softly, a hint of bitterness creeping into his laughter. "Sometimes it feels like I'm just a passerby in my own life, watching others find their voices while I remain mute. It's frustrating." He paused, his gaze drifting to the river's flow. "I thought it was just me, but maybe we're both lost in the same river of uncertainty." In that moment, the weight of their shared fears hung heavy in the air, the silence stretching between them like a fragile thread. Lila's heart raced. This was more than just a conversation. It was a connection, a revelation of sorts. They were two souls wandering in the same direction, yet each lost in their unique struggles. "Do you remember the stories we used to hear as children?" asked suddenly, her eyes lighting up at the thought. "The ones about finding magic in the ordinary? How beauty is hidden in the simplest of moments?" Eli nodded, a flicker of nostalgia crossing his face. "Yes, my mother used to sing to me about the stars and how they held dreams within them. I can still hear her voice, soft and soothing, like a lullaby that wrapped around me." He smiled, but there was a hint of sadness in his expression. But somewhere along the way, I forgot how to listen. The moon hung high, illuminating their faces in a soft glow, and Lila could see the vulnerability etched in Eli's features. "What if we could find that magic together?" she proposed, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if we combined your music with my art? Maybe we could create something beautiful that speaks to us both." Eli's eyes widened, a spark igniting within him. "You mean like a collaboration?" "Yes," Lila exclaimed, excitement coursing through her veins. "We could weave together our experiences, our emotions. It could be a reflection of our journey, a testament to finding inspiration in the mundane." She felt a rush of hope blossom within her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in what felt like ages. Eli smiled, the warmth of his gaze igniting a fire within her heart. "I love that idea, but what if it doesn't turn out the way we want? What if it's not good enough?" Lila felt a wave of determination wash over her. "But what if it is?" she countered gently. "What if it becomes something uniquely ours, something that captures our essence? We have to let go of the fear of inadequacy and embrace the process." As they spoke, the river continued its gentle flow, whispering encouragement in its own way. The world around them seemed to fade, leaving only the two of them suspended in a moment of possibility. Lila could feel her heart beating in sync with Eli's, a rhythm that echoed with hope and longing. "Let's do it," Eli said, his voice steady and resolute. "Let's not chase perfection, but rather embrace our imperfections. Let's create something that resonates with our truths." He reached for her hand, their fingers intertwining, and in that simple gesture, Lila felt an unbreakable bond form between them. Their laughter mingled with the sounds of the night, and for the first time in a long while, Lila felt a sense of liberation wash over her. The weight of her self-doubt began to lift, replaced by an invigorating sense of purpose. She could see the path ahead, illuminated by the moonlight, leading them toward a shared dream. But just as the air filled with hope, a sudden gust of wind swept through the trees, rustling leaves and sending ripples across the river. Lila's heart skipped a beat as a shadow flickered at the edge of her vision. She turned, her breath catching in her throat as she spotted a figure standing at the water's edge, cloaked in darkness. "Who's there?" Eli called out, his protective instincts kicking in, the warmth of their earlier moment overshadowed by an encroaching unease. The figure stepped closer, revealing a familiar face that sent shivers down Lila's spine. Claire, Lila's childhood friend. The friendship had faded over the years, lost to the currents of life. But here she was, her expression a mix of concern and urgency. "Lila, Eli!" Claire's voice rang out, cutting through the tranquility of the night. "I've been looking for you." "What's wrong?" Lila asked, a knot forming in her stomach as she sensed the weight of Claire's presence. "I need to talk to you both. It's important." Claire's gaze darted between them, her eyes filled with an intensity that was hard to ignore. "I heard about something that could change everything." Lila exchanged a worried glance with Eli. The warmth of their earlier conversation felt like a distant memory, overshadowed by the urgency in Claire's voice. "What do you mean?" Lila prodded, her heart racing with uncertainty. "There's a rumor going around about the Whispering River," Claire began, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "People are saying the river has been shifting, changing its course. The town's been talking about it, but I didn't think much of it until now." Lila's brow furrowed in confusion. "Changing course? What does that mean?" "It means," Claire continued, her voice trembling slightly, "that the river could be in danger. If it continues to shift, it could threaten the town. We need to act fast to save it before it's too late." The weight of Claire's words hit Lila like a tidal wave. The Whispering River was the heart of Serendipity Falls, the source of inspiration for her art, and the very essence of their connection. If it was in danger, everything they had been working toward could be lost. Eli looked at Lila, his expression a mixture of concern and determination. "We need to help. If the river is in trouble, we can't just stand by." Lila felt the familiar stir of purpose ignite within her, yet the fear of losing the very thing that had brought them together clawed at her heart. "But how?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Claire took a step closer, her eyes bright with determination. "I have a plan, but we'll need everyone in the town to come together. We can organize a community event by the river, raise awareness, and gather support to protect it." As they deliberated, the moonlight began to dim, the shadows creeping in as the night deepened. Lila felt the pull of the river's essence within her, the reminder that their connection was intertwined with its fate. The urgency of Claire's words resonated within her, but so did the warmth she had found in Eli's presence. Together, they could harness the beauty of their gifts, Lila's art and Eli's music, to rally the town, to inspire others to cherish the Whispering River. The realization struck her like a bolt of lightning. This could be the very inspiration they had both been seeking. "Let's do it," Lila said, her voice steady and resolute. "We can create something beautiful that speaks to the heart of this town, a celebration of the river that we all love." Eli nodded, a spark of determination igniting in his eyes. "We'll combine our talents, share our stories, and show everyone the magic that the river holds." As they stood in the moonlight, united by purpose, Lila felt the weight of her doubts begin to lift. They may not have had all the answers, but together they were stronger. The Whispering River had brought them together, and now it was their turn to protect it. "Let's meet tomorrow," Claire said, her voice filled with hope. "We'll gather everyone and start planning." As they parted ways that night, Lila's heart felt lighter than it had in weeks. The river flowed steadily beside her, whispering promises of a new beginning. She glanced back at Eli, who smiled warmly, his eyes reflecting the moonlight. And in that moment, she knew they were on the cusp of something extraordinary. The night cradled them in its embrace, a gentle reminder that just like the river, they would continue to flow, to create, and to find beauty in the journey ahead. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the first stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky, Lila and Eli sat side by side on the grassy bank of the Whispering River, the soft sounds of the water lapping against the stones, creating a soothing symphony in the background. The air was imbued with a gentle warmth, an invitation to linger in this moment of serene beauty. Their hearts were light, their minds quiet, as they reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. The two had spent countless evenings together by the river, sharing laughter, stories, and quiet moments of contemplation. Their collaboration, a delicate intertwining of Lila's vibrant paintings and Eli's melodic tunes, had blossomed like the wildflowers that dotted the riverbanks. They had discovered that inspiration was not merely a fleeting spark, but rather a deep wellspring cultivated through connection, curiosity, and a willingness to be vulnerable. This evening, however, was particularly special. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft golden glow upon the water, while the moon began to rise, illuminating their surroundings with a gentle silver light. Lila reached for her sketchbook, the pages filled with the essence of their shared experiences, the laughter, the stories, and the music that had woven their lives together. Each stroke of her pencil was imbued with the echoes of their conversations, the soft melodies that had floated through the air, and the profound moments of silence that had spoken volumes. "Lila," Eli said softly, his voice barely above a whisper, "do you remember the first time we met here? I was so lost in my thoughts, and you were so focused on your painting. I thought I'd never find my way back to my music." Lila smiled, her heart swelling with warmth. "And I was convinced that I'd never find my inspiration again. But this place, and you changed that for me." They exchanged a glance, a moment of understanding passing between them, rich with the unspoken acknowledgement of how far they had come. It was as if the river itself had guided them, each current bringing them closer to their true selves. In each other, they had found not only encouragement, but also a profound sense of belonging. As night settled in, they decided to share their collaborative piece with their friends and family. Lila had painted a large canvas depicting the whispering river under a starry sky, framed by the lush greenery of Serendipity Falls. Eli had composed a gentle melody that accompanied her artwork, a song that mirrored the ebb and flow of the river's current. The two had poured their souls into this creation, and now they were ready to unveil it to the world. The gathering was intimate, with the soft glow of lanterns illuminating the faces of their loved ones. Friends settled around them on blankets, their joyous laughter mingling with the soothing sounds of nature. Eli strummed his guitar, the gentle notes floating through the air like whispers carried by the wind. Lila stood beside him, her painting propped against an old oak tree, the colors shimmering under the lantern light. As Eli began to play, the audience fell silent, captivated by the sweet melodies that echoed the tranquil essence of the river. Lila felt her heart swell with pride and gratitude. Each note resonated with the beauty of their surroundings, a celebration of their artistic journey together. She watched as their friends leaned in, captivated by the song that breathed life into her painting, the two forms of art merging into a singular experience that enveloped everyone present. When the final chord reverberated into the cool night air, a hush fell over the gathering. Lila stepped forward, her fingers grazing the edges of her painting as she spoke. "This is not just my art or Eli's music. It is a reflection of our journey, our struggles, and the beauty we found in each other. Just like the whispering river, our lives flow together, creating something more profound than any one of us could achieve alone." Applause erupted, warm and genuine, wrapping around them like a comforting embrace. Lila and Eli exchanged smiles, their hearts full as they realized the power of what they had created together. It was a testament to the strength of connection, to the belief that through collaboration and vulnerability, they could ignite inspiration not only within themselves, but also in others. As the night deepened and the stars twinkled overhead, Lila felt a sense of peace wash over her. The river, with its gentle whispers, reminded her that life is a constant flow of experiences, some turbulent, some serene. She had learned to embrace each moment, accept the uncertainties, and find joy in the journey. Eli, too, had transformed. The pressure he had placed upon himself to create the perfect music had melted away, replaced with the understanding that his art was a reflection of his heart, shaped by every experience and connection he made. They had both discovered that creativity is not a destination, but a beautiful, winding path, one filled with shared laughter, tears, and quiet moments of reflection. As the gathering began to disperse, Lila and Eli found themselves once more by the river, the soft night enveloping them like a warm blanket. They sat side by side, the water shimmering like diamonds under the moonlight. "Tomorrow," Eli said, gazing out at the river, "let's explore the woods together. I want to find new melodies inspired by the sounds of nature." Lila nodded, her heart brimming with excitement. "And I'll bring my sketchbook. I want to capture the beauty we find there." With that promise, they sat in comfortable silence, the whisper of the river a gentle lullaby that cradled their thoughts. In that moment, they knew that they had found their way back to themselves, to each other, and to the art that flowed through them like the river that danced under the moonlight. As the night deepened, the world around them faded into a soft haze, each sound blending into a symphony of peace. The stars twinkled above, each one a reminder of the beauty that lies in connection, inspiration, and acceptance of oneself. Now, as you allow your thoughts to drift away, remember that life, like the whispering river, flows gently, guiding you through each twist and turn. Embrace the moments of stillness, find joy in the journey, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. Now, let your thoughts drift away and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.